Are we ready?
Nobody knows, dear.
Are we ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
So I should
push the button.
Greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G. Long, and sitting across the way is Deb.
Hi, y'all.
How you doing?
I'm sluggish.
Sluggish?
Yes.
Oh,
the weather.
Temperature.
I'm like an anole. I'm going to move slowly.
Frozen.
Yes, I'm frozen.
I need to molt.
Well, we do have a lot of clothes on.
Yeah. I feel like I'm molting when I get undressed.
Yes, because
like 1 layer, 2 layers, 3
because
layers.
the damn weather.
It was the coldest winter. Oh, my Lord.
No,
so
it wasn't. But we've been spoiled. It hasn't been bad. The last 2 winters were pretty moderate. And
well, 2020 and 2021?
The freeze
moderate.
After we had the hurricane flood freeze.
Hurricane flood freeze.
And haboob. I think we had a haboob that year too. So it was an active weather year. But weather is a daily factor in all we do.
I believe we've established, folks, that weather don't give a front.
It does not.
It don't give a front about you.
And
it don't give a front about me.
School or yes.
It don't give a front about
and we're
nothing.
Louisiana people, so Northerners, you can laugh if you want. We don't go to school when it's 18 degrees.
Yeah.
Because our buildings aren't made for it. Our people aren't made for it. Our children, some don't even own long pants.
There you go. All my pants are long pants. But anyway, so if you'd like to reach the Long in the Boot podcast, the number 337-502-9011. And the email is longintheboot@gmail.com.
That's Gmail.
Gmail.
Glenn Mail.
G-Long.
Why couldn't it be Google Long? And then we'd be Google rich.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be something. I don't even know how I'd act if I got Google rich.
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to become an asshole.
Well, see, that was the first thing I was going to say is I'd like to think that I wouldn't become an a-hole.
Yeah, well.
Oh, look who's cussing now, buddy. You blame me.
Well, when you get me going. What was it? Podcast page.
And you remembered?
You can always, catch past episodes of the podcast.
You can, and people have been.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, the downloads have been amazing.
www.longintheboot.com for all your podcast needs. Every episode is there.
Some better than others. Sometimes it's just a nugget. You got to listen through the whole thing.
You can't hit a home run every time.
We don't talk all the time.
It reminds me of, nowadays when people watch Saturday Night Live, they'll go, man, Saturday Night Live needs to be as good as it was back then. Yeah, but most people are only seeing these collections they've put together of all the best things.
Oh, yeah. But every
there was
night
a lot
every
of
skit,
bad
there was a lot of crap.
sketches, really horrible.
But we had budding comedy sensibilities at the time. We were young, and so.
But my point is, it's not that. I'll bet you there's some real gems even now.
Yeah.
If you collected modern Saturday Night Live, you'd probably find some real gems in there. But you can't. My God, 90 minutes live every week.
And if
can you imagine writing that?
No, and
trying to be funny,
and
90 minutes
socially
every week.
funny and politically funny, and
careful
walking a fine line, a fence.
Because a lot of things that are funny aren't allowed to be funny anymore.
Well, but that's why they hire younger people. Yeah, because then you get the younger generation, the youth, and they have their sensibilities, so they'll know and they'll say, "Hey, Boomer, you can't handle that.
You can't say those kind of things."
Sorry, I've been fighting with this stool.
Well, don't.
The one I'm sitting on.
Just stop it.
Yeah, I had to clarify that.
So, what's been going on in your world?
It's been cold as F.
Yeah, it's been pretty cold.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody listening probably is aware that it's cold.
Well, if you're
listening on
regional,
Wednesday, it's not cold necessarily, but it is wet.
We'll all be in our
It'll
rubbers.
be raining.
Everybody's going to get their rubbers out, and we're going to do what Louisiana does. We can handle that.
Rubbers. Galoshes.
You know what I mean.
Galoshes.
Galoshes. Well, all right, Northerner. We don't say that here.
Galoshes. Yes, you can. It's like
easy. Toboggan.
Right.
Yes. Is it a sled or is it a hat? In the north or the south? In the north, a toboggan is...
A toboggan's like a sled.
Yeah. That's how I learned it. And then I come here, and it means a hat.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Where?
Anywhere. Nobody.
Toboggan is a hat?
No, down here. I've heard people say it.
Oh, yeah.
But anywhere else ever in my life, no.
So I felt like the whole state just misunderstood.
And now they call them beanies. They just generic at our school whenever kids are wearing those. And we have to tell them to take them off. Take your beanie off.
All right.
So I don't know if it's a beanie, but anyway.
I don't know.
There you go. So we were
language.
Speaking of cold.
And the sluggishness?
And the sluggishness. And why can you stop making generic noise?
I can't. No, I can't.
Stop it.
I can't. They don't hear it. You hear it.
They heard it.
All right.
You heard it. You know you heard it.
It's the damn stool.
Well, I don't care. Do I need to stop the podcast?
Don't threaten me.
I will stop the podcast. I will pull over this podcast right now, young lady.
Your arm's long enough to reach me. I can't reach you. I could never reach the kids in the back seat.
Yeah,
I had to pull over.
Short little arms.
I'm gonna smack you in the head.
T-Rex arms.
Well, no, I'm not freakish. That's a bit much. Why are you attacking me today? This is our bi-monthly date, and I thought we were going to have a nice time.
Well, we're trying.
All right. Are we going to get to the point now?
I suppose we can. We kind of wanted to talk about,
the result of this.
Electricity.
Electricity, yes.
And
our power usage.
As most of you know, and those of you who aren't from around here don't, but that's okay. Recently,
getting screwed.
Recently, everybody's electric bills went up. Doubled in many.
Ours doubled. Many cases.
Ours doubled.
Yeah.
Many people doubled. And there's so much going on with our electric
like
company.
A fissure in our ass, and we have to say something about it.
First, we had stories coming out before. This started in November. We got a letter that let everybody know that our electric bills were going to go up tremendously, and they had a reason for it.
Because they hired somebody new, and his salary is exorbitant in our co-op.
So if you don't know, BECI does not produce any of its own electric power. It buys power, and it buys power from Cleco Cajun, a subsidiary of Cleco.
A larger.
Well, it's a subsidiary. It's another branch of the Cleco business. But anyway, so the river levels of the Mississippi, apparently Cleco Cajun, our power, the power that we have to buy has to be predominantly coal.
And it's imported.
And it's produced here. I mean, it's produced in the United States, but you got to get it here.
Yeah, so it's.
Now, I should point out, and this is where the weirdness starts to me. The very first thing I learned was that Cleco Cajun only produces 9% of its power from coal.
Only 9%.
But BECI is contracted to purchase the majority of its power that is burned by coal. So it seems as if.
And the contract lasts until 2025. Yeah, and then they can get out of it. Okay.
Yes, but it may not matter by then. We don't know what's going to happen. So I started digging, as I am wont to do.
Lord knows you can dig.
And so a couple of things. First of all, the reason that the price went up for the power.
The public reason.
What
they told us.
The reason they told the public was because of shipping. That because the Mississippi River levels were so low during the drought, that they couldn't put as much coal on each barge as they could before, thereby the cost of bringing that coal rises because you have more barges,
more trips
to keep the supply going.
And that seemed reasonable considering what we all experienced over the summer.
Well, we all understand the Mississippi River was low.
Yes.
You can't deny it. You can't argue it. It was low. But I have a problem because in 2022, harken back, if you will, to a little more than a year ago, the river was actually lower
than it has
been in 2023. And we didn't get an increase back then. We didn't get a big giant coal price increase.
Nobody came to us and said, "Oh dear God."
And that combined with the idea that Cleco Cajun only produces, of all of the power it produces, 9% is coal.
So why would be such a large percentage of the increase come from shipping cost?
Right. And coal is also cheaper right now than it was last year.
Coal that people use to burn for energy.
No, coal that Cleco Cajun uses to create energy was cheaper. It's gone down in price.
Than it was a year ago?
Yeah, actually 2 years ago. Even.
Then why the hell are we paying more?
That's my question.
Because
I'm asking questions.
Oh, all right. Continue your questions.
Okay, so.
And isn't there something in the works?
When BECI got its contract with Cleco Cajun to buy power
from them until 2025.
Why did they agree to buy so much from one type of power?
Oh, I see.
Cleco Cajun also has natural gas.
So they could have diversified their.
And they might say something like, well, because coal's cheaper. Well, why'd you sign a contract where a commodity where it could be affected by the Mississippi River levels?
Yeah.
Did anybody not even examine this? So many
variables in there.
Okay, so all of that's going on. We have that. We'll come back to that. Put a pin in that. We also have the BECI issue of the new manager, president, whatever, who everybody's very upset about. I don't know the man. I have no personal grudge against the man.
Nope, don't know anything about him.
I think that $300,000+ a year
for a little
is way overpriced.
Inflated for but gee, life is expensive today. Everything's gone up. From shipping costs to food to
well, here again my
so
question.
He needs that.
During the contentious meeting that KPLC covered.
Boy, wasn't it though? Man, people were.
He cited his bona fides, why he deserves this much money, I guess.
All right.
But I'm sure there are other people that could have done it as well. But the question then becomes some of the other things that he's done, like trying to push through a proposal where people on the board couldn't criticize decisions of the board. Free speech.
You mean after he takes the job?
When he takes the job. And
he's got like some guidelines.
He's got some things he wants passed by the board. And one of the things he wants the board to pass is a rule that the board cannot criticize decisions of the board. Members of the board cannot criticize decisions of the board.
All right.
That would be like saying, hey, Mr. Congressman, I know you're upset about the decisions in Baton Rouge, but you're not allowed to talk about it.
Yes, you can't say a word.
You can't tell your constituents what's going on.
And you can't fight for anything else. You just need to keep your mouth shut.
And we have to remember this is a co-op. This is owned by the members. It's owned by the people who actually buy. Or it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be owned by us, the people who are paying the electric bill.
Correct. So everybody's blaming BECI.
But aren't we the people in charge of the politicians as well?
Well, we are, but this isn't politicians. These are members of a board.
But they're acting like politicians.
They get elected just like politicians.
Yes, that's
you can actually vote for them. Anyway, so I saw all that. I'm like, wow, that's really weird. I'd like to know more about Cleco Cajun. and our new Caesar. And, it turns out that Cleco Cajun announced in November, about the time we got our new manager, and about the time they told us, hey, we're going to send you some Vaseline for this next electric bill. It's going to be in a little tube.
Well, that came
with your new bill.
That came in December. That letter. Right. So,
but it had already been announced by one of the board members.
Oh, we just hadn't gotten the official.
A member of the board who hasn't been restricted from being able to complain
yet
complained.
Okay.
And pointed out this was what's fixing to happen. Now, nobody knew this until this guy spoke up.
Oh, okay. Well, thank goodness for him.
Well, absolutely, because it was all.
We're not naming
hinky.
names.
It's
Y'all know.
It's hinky.
It is hinky.
Anyway, so November, Cleco announced that they were going to sell Cleco Cajun, their subsidiary, to another company.
Okay. So they're cutting their losses?
They're doing something, and I'll tell you what they're doing.
Is Cleco Cajun in debt?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, not Cleco Cajun.
Oh.
It's a subsidiary.
Cleco is in debt.
Cleco is in debt. Now, harken back, if you will.
You keep taking me back. Do we need the music? Okay.
2015.
Oh, what a good year.
A Cleco deal was made. Multiple experts have told the Louisiana Public Service Commission that the proposed sale of Cleco Corporation exposes ratepayers to risks in the future.
I'm at risk.
How well Cleco and the prospective new owners address those concerns over the next few months is likely to be key to whether the deal happens. All right, so this was the deal then. And what they were worried about, our main concern is debt and how it will affect Cleco's operations and financial health going into the future. Mm-hmm. In addition to all these other things, the overall result would be a company that was leveraged far more, which means weaker credit ratings, increased risk, all kinds of issues. One fear is that Cleco revenue, this is in 2015 again, won't be enough to return to justify the debt and equity incurred by the buyers. The new owners could delay future capital expenditures or implement cost-cutting measures or even sell the company in that case.
Oh, and then we had 2 hurricanes back to back.
Right. Now, Group for Alliance for Affordable Energy, a group that positions itself as a consumer watchdog, testified against the sale at the time. Now, Cleco, of course, went through. Cleco's still in debt. They've been in debt, and they're not able to meet their obligation at the current time. So what
they were fearful of in 2015 has developed.
Has actually come to fruition.
Yes, happened, and here we are now.
And so Cleco announced that they are selling Cleco Cajun. All right, so
they want it to be a profitable branch then of their holdings, because if you're going to try to sell a resource, you want it to be
Cleco needs the money.
Yeah.
Cleco needs the money so they can pay off their debt. So they're going to sell Cleco Cajun, which is part of it is our power supplier, really, through BECI.
We got that.
And for $600 million, they're going to sell this. They first tried to sell it to a company called Big Pelican, but actually Big Pelican is related to another company, and this is where it starts getting weird. It's called Atlas Holdings.
Okay.
Atlas Holdings is an investment group. They run lots of companies.
Oh, so they just buy up businesses. They don't care what kind of business. They just invest.
Exactly.
If they think it can be profitable, they invest. They diversify.
Correct. And here, to give you an idea of the word salad, so you know what we're talking about here.
Not again.
Atlas specializes in a unique, focused approach to buying and building our businesses, often centered on investing in operating companies undergoing complex operational and financial challenges. We focus on business sectors where we have substantial domain expertise. By the way, they own 2 power generating facilities. That's a fact.
That's
right now. They're fixing to own 3.
They're wanting to. Yes. Okay.
Anyway, so that's their investment strategy.
It sounds like mobster business.
They're also very, very wrapped up in ESG, environmental social governance, which means they're trying to eliminate coal from their portfolio completely.
So we gotta buy up these coal burning industries, and we've got to stop.
Well, if they can make coal so expensive, so prohibitively expensive,
then the people won't want it.
Then in 2 years, in 25, when our contract runs out with them, we can get a new contract where we say, well, look, coal is ridiculous. We can't keep using it. We'll use natural gas or oil or renewable.
Well, then, goddamn it, just tell us.
Exactly. Be honest.
Just say it.
Be honest.
All of this backhanded crap and reaming us during the holidays even, and then we're about to go into tax season. People are stressed.
They are stressed. And so the investment company, Atlas Holdings.
Atlas
Holdings.
Oh, it sounded like you said Alice Holdings.
One of the things that Atlas Holdings, I saw one of their portfolios was pension funds for Florida. Which I thought was weird. Florida. Police and firemen pension funds, and also the teachers' pension fund.
Oh, no.
Heavily invested in Atlas Holdings. They also own Foster Farms, which if you buy like chicken nuggets, the cheap chicken nuggets, not the good ones, the cheap ones.
Well, but Foster look, Farms. Didn't their mission statement there that you just read indicate that they like to go into businesses that are barely hanging on and help them with their challenges.
Or businesses that with a little bit of work could be very profitable.
Yes.
Which is what you do. I mean, if you're an investment company, that's your job.
And you make them better. But we also know how heartless that can be at times.
So I went and looked at the two power generating companies.
Okay.
Because I'm like, power generating. By the way, the sectors: automotive, building materials, business and industrial services, engineered products, food and beverage, packaging, power generation, and pulp and paper. Those are their sectors.
Their key sectors.
Power generation, they have two places.
That's a big umbrella.
They have Granite Shore Power, which is up in the New Hampshire area, who is having a horrible legal problem right now because of the coal they bought. But here's the weird part. Atlas was buying coal from a company in the UK.
Because America has stopped.
We still produce plenty of coal.
Okay, I thought maybe we.
So why are you buying coal
from overseas?
From overseas, doesn't that add to the cost? Why do we have to go to? Yeah, we have train tracks. Doesn't it seem kind of weird that rather than bring it from West Virginia and Kentucky
it seems
to New Hampshire, you instead bring it across the sea? So you're burning oil to bring coal over.
And then your company's going to bitch about coal burning.
Oh, yeah. They're also being sued for having any coal burning at all. And they're talking constantly about how they're reducing their dependence on coal. But recently, they got some coal from the UK that was bad.
What the hell is bad coal? Diamonds?
Too much sulfur. Wouldn't burn properly in the company. And now the company didn't get their money, the coal company.
Allied? The coal
Granite
company
Shore Power, the Granite
UK.
Shore Power, the Atlas Holdings.
So Allied wouldn't pay them, or I'm sorry, Atlas wouldn't pay them.
Granite Shore won't pay them, but that's, again, it's inside Atlas Holdings. It's a trust. I mean, in a way, it's like the old-fashioned trust. It owns lots of companies.
Oh, the tangled webs they weave.
So now there's a big battle between those two guys. The power company is saying, you did damage to our facility. We can't burn coal properly now. Well, that's weird. You bought coal that destroyed your ability to generate power with coal. Does that help your ESG score? I bet it does. All right.
Wow. To be environmentally conscious and a coal company at the same time.
And I said, well, that was interesting. What about this one called Greenidge Generation?
Okay, this is their other energy investment.
Greenidge Generation Holdings is a vertically integrated Bitcoin mining and power generation company.
Well, is mining Bitcoin cleaner than mining coal?
Well, it uses a lot of power.
It uses power, but it's not dirty coal.
So this company bought into, it says Greenidge is committed to 100% carbon neutral Bitcoin mining at all of its locations by utilizing low carbon sources of energy and offsetting its carbon footprint.
So what are they running all their computers?
So this is running out of New York, Dresden, New York.
Okay.
I would assume that they're probably, I don't know what they would be burning
to run all these computers
to run these, to basically run the computers. So I just think it's kind of interesting.
That's and the dichotomy of the two franchises of power, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird, right?
It is. And
Bitcoin mining,
but we still get big bills.
An environmental leader in power generation and Bitcoin mining, Greenidge is advancing responsible Bitcoin mining across the industry. Most of our operations employ only the latest generation mining machines that are more than twice as efficient as the global network standard. We are also investing significant profits from our operation into renewable projects in New York State and beyond, as we believe Bitcoin can be a vital lever to expand the use of renewables in years to come.
I'd like some more details. That was all very vague in general.
And so anyway, timeline. By the way, the company Timeline, their very first power generating coal-fired operation started in 1937, and now they're reliably.
Well, I can see they're stepping into the future. I mean, they're embracing it wholeheartedly.
So they're within that Atlas Holdings, but I think it is interesting that Atlas Holdings wants Cleco Cajun and all of its power generating facility
to get rid of coal.
But I think they're going to squeeze coal, and I think that And probably it also helps their bottom line. Like, you see a company that's making this much money at the time of sale.
Well, yeah, that was my point, that right now, if they have us paying double for our bills for a few months, I hope it's only a few months, then their bottom line looks excellent. Or maybe they're going to get it's a better
Or
buy.
Maybe since they're an investment company, maybe they have a shipping line that, they need more money to bring this coal. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just run your price up at one point and it runs up the line.
Yeah.
So it costs us more to bring your coal. Yeah, because you own the company. You're paying to bring the coal.
And you just charged us more.
Yeah.
Well, and as somebody pointed out, because as anybody who is not in our area can imagine, it's the talk of the social media.
Yes, people are
upset.
Pissed.
Yes.
And I think the thing is, I looked at the bill, and we definitely used more power. We were home. It was December. We were home for 2 solid weeks. We're teachers, and we didn't go anywhere this year. And it was cold. We ran our power.
Yes.
So, yes, our bill should have gone up.
I understand that. And it always is. Our 2 highest bills every year are, January and August?
Yeah, but our bill was up. It doubled pretty much, but we did not double our usage.
Yes. Okay. But that's part of the math salad.
The math salad, that is the bill.
That is the bill. Now they're helping us immensely on their website to be able to. They're keying in new features for us so we can go and figure and track our bill as we go.
And so you have an opportunity to defer some of your bill, kind of the way Cleco is deferring its debt.
You can defer your increased usage, your increased water. I don't remember how she phrased that now. What she said. Anyway, what I did understand and remember was that it could be anywhere from $30 to $170, and you can put it off for 8 months. You still owe it. You're still going to have to pay it. But my question is, what about next month? And the next month, is the 26% going to, are we double every month now? Is it going to go back down? They said when the water levels went back up in the Mississippi, that's when our prices could go back down. Yeah. But clearly the Mississippi water levels are not the issue. Well, I looked at the
Army Corps of Engineers site, and apparently river traffic right now is running normally for this time of year.
Water level's fine. Everybody's
it's not fine. It's still down, but it's not.
But the way they're carrying per load is still. And as some woman pointed out on the social media page, she said, all right, and then what happens now when all of the businesses that run on BECI power, their cost has just doubled as well, and they have to start passing that on to us, the consumer, again.
So basically, again, I recommend highly the product Vaseline because it seems as if we're going to need it.
And I just need to know how long. How long is this going to go on?
You must replace it every day.
Is this because they keep telling me the economy is getting better. Stock market is the strongest.
Oh, good for them.
It's ever been.
And we just learned the other day that only about 15% of the population even has game.
Yeah.
It's in the stock market.
What was it? 93% of...
Now, my only question was...
all millionaires.
Well, when they say that only 15% of the country has money in the stock market, I'll bet it's higher than that if you include things like 401ks and portfolios and Allied Investment.
Atlas
Look,
investment.
I don't invest in the stock market, but I have my pension in this group.
Yes.
Well, then you're sort of invested in the stock market.
It's all part of your... Yeah. I guess. I don't feel like I'm gaining anything. But anyway,
so...
teach your kids about.
So if that didn't make you feel better about your bill, I don't know what would.
Well, it's just some background information. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go.
Well, I just wanted to know more, and I still would like to see them justify a $300,000 plus salary for a person who works in. I know. I don't care. It'd be like anybody grading themselves. I'm great. I deserve every penny. I
deserve all of this money. All right. Can we wrap it up with 2 lighter Louisiana stories?
I had a couple that were.
That was really local. Well, no, I thought you were going to tell us about the
cicadas?
About the cicadas.
Well, except it's here. It's not going to be that big.
But not for us locally, but it's still our damn state.
They're not cockroaches. They're cicadas.
They're cicadas.
They fly and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And they make lots of noise.
They do. They're very loud.
Apparently people in northern parts of Louisiana, as well as Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, and a whole bunch of other places, this is a year that 2 broods
A brood.
They have 17 and 13-year cicadas. So you have two broods that overlap.
Okay.
Normally, they don't come out at the same time. But because of the math, 17 and 13, over time, eventually
it's going to coincide.
And it's happening this year. It has not happened since 1803.
Oh, wow.
So in 1803, it was probably really loud and nobody heard it because there wasn't a bunch of people. You're talking in the parts of the country where they're coming out. Native Americans would have been the only ones to hear it.
They would have seen it as a sign of what was to come. Who was president? Jackson?
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay.
1803. So Lewis and Clark probably heard him.
They might have thought, nature's just acting up again. Okay, so they're gonna pop.
They are going to pop.
What's the time frame?
It's starts in the middle of May and goes on for a short time.
A short time.
Yeah, I lost the thing.
You lost your story?
Yeah, I did. I lost the last part of the story. Oh, because I copied it from another place.
Oh, those were vital questions. Gee,
not really.
Vital.
I think it goes into June.
Do we know how many cicadas there? I say a brood. I don't know what a brood is. Is it a regiment? It's
millions. There'll be millions. Millions. Yeah.
And then they just turn to little carcasses, little crunchy shells, like locusts.
They lay eggs. First they come out. Then they get
How do they
busy.
Die? They live, they breed, they die.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what else are they going to do?
Where they nest? In the leaves?
They're in the ground.
Inside but when they come out, where do they?
They go up in the trees.
Oh, up to the trees. Okay.
Yeah. And then they molt. Yeah. And so you get the little cicada body.
Yeah.
Little hollow cicada bodies everywhere.
That's what I was talking about.
And they're cool.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine millions of them. That's kind of creepy crawly weird.
It is. I remember all the locusts on the trees when I was a kid.
They're not pretty.
No.
And I'll bet they're going to mess up people's windshields.
Oh, we'll be, and on the internet, people will be, we'll see all kinds of pictures and all kinds of
Because again, 1803, there were no cars.
No.
You had to worry about that.
Oh, just pelt.
And so anyway, and what else is going on in Louisiana? New Orleans says, hey, if you're in New Orleans and an unmarked police car tries to pull you over, don't pull over.
No shit.
Yeah. Apparently some guys.
So if a random car tries to pull you over, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Good Lord. I'm surprised we have to tell you people these things.
They had a bunch of stuff get stolen from a store that sells goods that police buy.
Oh, I see.
So they got a lot of cop gear.
How would we fix that? Like that not allow
Well, you know what? There needs to be a group that we pay with our tax dollars that's responsible for investigating theft, and maybe they could figure this out.
Maybe they could stop all of this. Okay. So we're not going to talk about political intrigue or any of that, right? We're keeping it close to.
Well, I do have one thing about, again, New Orleans. It's so easy to pick fun on New Orleans.
Okay.
Mayor Cantrell and her trip to Dubai with Officer Vappy.
Officer Vappy?
Vappy.
Vapid Vappy?
Vappie.
Oh, nice.
Looks like Vappy to me. They went to Dubai together. Isn't that nice?
Vape.
Whatever. Trip cost taxpayers more than $15,000.
No, it was a business trip. I know. She knows the ethics.
Her trip was paid for by the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Okay.
Taxpayers had to foot the bill for Vappy because he's her personal bodyguard. And they spent lots of time together, apparently at a apartment that was owned by the city
of New Orleans.
Okay. And
why does the city of New Orleans have an apartment in Dubai?
How else is the mayor going to hang with Vappy?
What? But in Dubai?
I'm sure they have several apartments that are probably for like visiting people.
Oh, I see. It's not actually owned by New Orleans.
But if it's not being used, then of course the mayor and her bodyguard can go have a conference there and figure some very important things out. Yeah. I'm sure there was no hanky-panky going on. Why they both look absolutely innocent. Oh, and so that's going on. The mayor of New Orleans and
you're saying Vappy. Politicians doing wrong. My story is actually politicians.
Actually, I'm looking at the picture of both of them.
Shut up.
Ew.
Stop it. Just stop it. And again, I'll point out, just as you did to me last time, not a visual medium.
We just go look it up, man.
Well, they don't care. They don't have time. True. They're spending their time listening to us, and we appreciate that because time is so valuable.
Hang on. I will mentally send you a picture.
I'm not even looking it up. I've got a computer in front of me. Okay. So weather, electric bills, bad politicians, greed. Bad. Right. Yeah. Screw in the little man.
They're building a right wing nationalist haven in Kentucky.
Why did we leave the state?
I just thought I would for a minute.
Mine is going. I'm back in the state. I'm leaving on a good note.
Okay.
I'm leaving with Green Acres, baby.
Green Acres is the place to be.
I told you.
Farm living is the life for me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You ready? Are we ready to wrap? Because I'm going out on this.
Oh, one last thing.
See, I knew it. I could tell you weren't done.
One last thing. Just want to get everybody ready. The World Health Organization.
Oh, for our new.
The director of the World Health Organization, General Tedros. Director General.
Yes.
Has called on all countries to sign on to the Health Organization's Pandemic Treaty. So the world can prepare for, in his words, Disease X.
Yes. I asked you that the other day when I was reading a story. I said, so they're preparing us for the next pandemic?
And they want us to sign this treaty that would be binding, legally binding.
A treaty is to make peace and to, work together.
Disease X is a hypothetical placeholder virus that has not yet been formed. They're working on it.
No, they are working on it.
But scientists say it could be 20 times deadlier than COVID-19.
Yes.
Well, we know the Chinese have flat out admitted they're doing gain-of-function research with COVID-19 now, trying to figure out things. And supposedly they created a version that killed all the mice.
All of them. Not
success.
Yeah, this is what we were searching for. But then who's going to burn the energy?
So
you got to have people.
Disease X.
Okay. So we're getting prepared for that. We're just informing the listeners now so that when it happens, we can say, I told you so. Is that
sure?
Is that why you want to tell them? You just want them to feel bad?
Well, the problem is this. We would be ceding our sovereignty to the World Health Organization,
yes,
who aren't always really great at a lot of these things, as witnessed recently during this, what was it again? The COVID-19 pandemic.
And then they would have
where they couldn't keep it all straight.
Then
and
they would have an iron
else.
fist across the world.
Could.
And they would try to implement everything in the same way across the world. And
then they would try to put the same mark upon all of us.
All right, a stigma.
And you would need that mark to buy food,
yeah,
to buy fuel.
Yeah. Oh, wait, China owns all of our farmland.
Bill Gates does.
Well, I saw that China was buying it up the other day.
Yeah, but Bill Gates is still the number one landowner in the United States of America.
How do we know he's not a Chinese?
That's right. He could be Chinese. He may have had surgery to hide,
all right,
hide his Chinese characteristics.
You're being sassy.
I'm not being sassy. I'm being serious. People need to take this seriously.
I knew when you put on your Angry Beaver shirt that it was going to be weird.
Well, you got to watch out for an Angry Beaver now.
It's like Angry Beaver.
Don't get me started about all the Angry Beavers that we'll move on.
We will move on.
Let's put a pin in that. Let's circle back to that.
All right. Can I wrap it up then now?
Hang on. Let me go get him. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My cousin. I can't stand him.
Eddie? Oh, wait. No. Wayne. It's Wayne. I knew it was Wayne. I don't even know why I said Eddie. I knew Wayne. I was having a flashback to Christmas.
Hey, you talking about me in there again? See?
No, cousin. We're not talking about you.
Shut up, Wayne.
All right. Recently the great state of Louisiana has gone full on Republican.
Yes.
We lost our Democratic governor.
So we've got it all, man. It's trifecta of Republicanism.
Yes. And
I should get Wayne back in here, I guess, because he loves to talk about this stuff.
We don't need to get started on that.
Okay.
But the story was that our Louisiana governor backs out of chicken ownership and sends his hands a packing.
I saw that.
So our wonderful John Bell Edwards, and I can
he
say
likes
that
chickens.
He liked chickens, and
he liked eggs.
He would in 2016 when he came to the governor's mansion, he bought a coop with his own money.
Of course,
documented own money.
Yeah,
he didn't try to like slip it in there.
No.
And on particularly stressful days. So I imagine during the whole pandemic when he was guiding our state and fussing at us on a regular basis about, doing what we're supposed to do.
Tell us troubles to the chickens.
He would go out and he would feed and pet and just tend to his chickens. And they supplied the eggs for the first family in the governor's mansion all through his stint. And
Landry ain't got the time. He's too busy.
Landry, he came down.
He said he was going to keep it.
He said he asked for him to leave them, and graciously John Bell's like, we spread.
And he changed his mind,
and then he said, "Now get those chickens out of here."
I'm sure
somebody from Edwards group came and got his chickens.
And Landry may just be that way. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with it.
Well, he wouldn't have to deal with them. Somebody would take care of them. You think somebody?
Well, his wife wouldn't do it.
Or, and this is what I was thinking. What if he just thought that the perception, the optics to everybody in the rest of the country, now everybody knows there's a chicken coop at the governor's mansion in Louisiana and we're just a bunch of hicks. Maybe he felt like it was
could be. There's no telling.
Or embarrassing.
There is no telling how that decision was made, but you can bet there were more than 4 people involved in the making of that decision.
Oh, I'm sure there was. It was a round table.
Because it could have been just something simple like, Landry might be, look, it makes me look like a man of the people, makes me look like a country guy.
Yeah, and somebody else said
went,
no.
You already have the Cajun accent. You don't need chickens.
You look like a hick. But
you sound like a hick already.
It's the green way to go. I see. Is that why?
I agree.
It's the green way to go. You're providing
Maybe
for
he's worried that he would develop some type of bond with a chicken and then it would die and he would be in mourning and take his attention away from his duties as the governor.
Some kind of poultry disease?
You never know.
Mad chicken.
Flu. Hello.
Bird flu.
Maybe somebody told him that chickens cause disease. He said, I don't want those here.
I don't know. I questioned it, though, because it seems like a weird thing.
And all you got to do is put little masks on the chickens and everything's fine.
And I have a new respect for chickens. I've helped one across the road.
You did save a chicken.
Got a new home for him. We thought it was a herd.
I have a lot of respect for chicken, too, especially when it's breaded and put in hot oil.
I've kept in contact, and he has his own little coop now. But for those of you out there who don't really think much about chickens, you should. Chicken People 2016 on Netflix. It's a chicken documentary.
Oh, absolutely,
and it is so worth your time. It is a feel-good documentary.
I'll say it's a great documentary.
It will make you feel happy, and you will see how chickens have in some cases saved people's lives.
Oh yeah.
So
there you go.
Chicken People.
There we go. That's a good way to wrap it up.
I think it is a good.
Chickens. Happy chickens.
We were coming back to Green Acres. So
happy chickens.
Don't have to feel so bad about the world around them.
That's right. And
pet a chicken.
And get a propane heater.
And get a propane heater so you don't have to run your electricity.
Just another bit of advice from G Long.
A little tip from Long in the Boot.
Big buddy heater.
There you go.
Hip yet.
All right. I guess we'll be back as we get closer to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, we're heading that way. I hope everybody enjoyed the new artwork. I did.
Yes,
I enjoyed making it. I did.
Because we had downtime.
That's right. Had downtime. Spending electricity at home, unfortunately.
Go to work, people.
So it was a cold last week. This week, possibly flood.
Possibly. Weather's going to talk to us again.
Well, weather don't give a fuck. I think
know.
we've established
so
that.
You need to know that your joy is portable, but you may need a P-road to get it somewhere. So take care of that. Weather's dangerous, folks.
That's right. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Turn off your heater. Save $1.
3.
Yeah, at least. Y'all take care.
We need ambiance, or I need ambiance.
Bargle.
I don't know what you need.
How's that?
There, yes.
Does that work for you?
Love and support. That's what you need. That's what we all need.
Mm.
Or some political group to join on to so we can hate somebody else.
Yay, hate.
Yay, polarization.
All right. We're going to be getting ready here pretty quickly. All right. T-minus in 14 seconds. Have
you almost got liftoff?
Aardvark 1, you are go for throttle up.
Zero sum outcomes. Man, when you first look at that, that's kind of weird. Zero sum outcomes, but what I saw, of course, was zero come out.
Okay, so I guess I know where we'll be cutting the podcast. Right there.
Viewed as zero sum outcomes, win or lose. Well, because
using that foul language already, I see.
Oh, there was going to be cussing.
Well, some, sure.
We were going to talk about the electric bills and the weather.
We're going to. It's going to happen.
We got foul language all around. Throwing that shit out there.
Well,
throwing it out like the joy I bring to the world. Made you laugh.
Take your shit with you. It's portable.
You can stuff your sorries in a sack.
Remember, you can stuff your sorries in a sack because sacks are portable. Oh, boy.
That's sad. Okay. And then that made me bring that image in my head of Randy on South Park riding his giant testicles.
Well, it was cancer.
Yeah.
He had cancer.
Yeah. He had testicular.
So he could get marijuana.
He went to such trouble. He didn't even need to do any of that.
And eventually had a farm.
Exactly.
America.
And a ton of integrity.
That's America.
It is the American dream, I think.
To own a pot farm?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Acres is the place to be.
Percentage of society. You know what? There it was. We're going to have to just start now.
Why?
Because that connects to what we have at the very end and perfect full circle from Green Acres to the governor's mansion.
Farm living is the life for me.
Exactly.
Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
All right.
I won't do Zsa Zsa or Eva. I'm sorry. Eva Gabor.